because it's not just going to stop.
New employees.
Good evening. It is 6:30 PM, and I hereby call the order to the regular council meeting for the City of Rochelle, October 27, 2025. I ask that everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the opening prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We come before you this evening with gratitude of the opportunity to gather and serve our community. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as the Rochelle City Council meets tonight. We also lift up a special prayer for Dylan Manning and his family. We ask for your healing hand to be upon Dylan. Grant him strength, comfort, and full and speedy recovery, surrounding him and his family with your peace, your love, and reassurance. And may they continue to feel the prayers and support of the caring community. Amen. Counselor Arteaga?
Here.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Here.
Counselor Hayes?
Here.
Counselor Dan McDermott?
Here.
Counselor Tom McDermott?
Here.
Counselor Shaw Dickey?
Here.
And Mayor Barrows is absent. 6 present, we do have a quorum. I do ask if someone can make a motion for Mayor Pro Tem.
I move the council appoint Councilman Tom McDermott as Mayor Pro Tem for tonight's meeting.
A second.
Second. Sorry.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
Counselor Dan McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Tom McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Shaw Dickey?
Yes.
And Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote 6-0.
Okay, with that, any proclamations,
Yes. Want me to go ahead and start?
if you'd be so kind?
Whereas National Family Literacy Day, established by the 103rd Congress in 1994 and now marking its anniversary on November 1st of 2025, highlights the importance of reading and learning for the entire family and emphasizes the impact that parents have on their child's learning. And whereas as 1 in 6 adults struggle with reading and writing, by learning to read, individuals can gain self-respect, confidence, and strive toward goals that otherwise would not be achievable. And whereas education, being one of the cornerstone of National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, is committed to increasing literacy by promoting and supporting literacy programs. Now therefore, John Barrows, Mayor of the City of Rochelle, does hereby proclaim November 1st, 2025 as National Family Literacy Day.
Is there anybody here to receive it?
Yep.
Oh, there they are. You guys have to smile. Terrible.
One more.
If you have anything you want to throw in?
I don't have anything I want to say. But yeah, feel free.
That's all right.
Better speaker than I am.
Thank you for recognizing the importance of literacy in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reports and communication. From the mayor's perspective, I'd like to remind everybody that Halloween is coming up, I believe on the 31st. So there's going to be a lot of little munchkins out running around, so if you're out and driving about, be extra cautious if you would, please. Council members, anything?
Along with family reading night, there is an event that will be hosted by our public library, family reading night. I can make sure that I think it was shared, but we'll make sure that it's shared again on November 20th. So it's in November from 5 to 7 at the Flag Rochelle Public Library.
Very good. Kate, Danny, Bill? Yes, okay, Ben. Okay, moving right along then. We would entertain a motion for the resignation of Greg Olson from the Fire and Police Commission.
I move the council accept the resignation of Greg Olson from the Fire and Police Commission effective immediately.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, first by Councilmember McDermott, the second by Councilwoman Kate Shaw-Dickey. Roll call, please.
Counselor Case?
Yes.
Counselor Dan McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Shaw-Dickey?
Yes.
Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
And Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, new employee introductions. Handling that, Blake?
Just going to do all three of them at once.
There you go.
Strength in numbers.
Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce 3 new members of our electric and generation departments who have recently joined the team. First, Ray Hartwig joined the generation team on April 28th. He came from Worley Custom Fabrication. He holds an Associate of Applied Science degree in diesel power technology, has a strong interest in engine performance and reliability. Ray lives just outside of Rochelle with his wife Caitlin, and they recently welcomed their first child in September. He enjoys operating and learning the ins and outs of our generation engines. Outside of work, he's a true gearhead that also enjoys cars, motorcycles, and dirt bikes. We're excited to have him on our team and look forward to his contributions. Please join me in welcoming Ray. Next, to my far right is CJ Miskelt. He joined our team on July 7th as a journeyman lineman. He comes to us from MJ Electric, bringing 4 years of experience as a journeyman. CJ lives in Oregon with his wife Kristen, and they are eagerly expecting their first child in December. He enjoys collaborating with the other linemen in our department, and outside of work, he likes hunting, fishing, traveling, and watching football. Please join me in welcoming CJ. And last but not least, to my immediate right, Adam Merrill joined our team on September 8th as a journeyman lineman coming from ComEd. He just recently topped out as a journeyman. He lives in Mount Morris and enjoys the opportunity to work outdoors every day. Unlike most of us, he enjoys the winter time because he is an avid snowmobiler. And during the warmer months, he also enjoys golfing. We are happy to have him on our team and look forward to his contribution to the electric department. Please join me in welcoming Adam Merrill. I'd also like to add that all 3 of these positions were replacements, not additions to all of our departments. So that's what I have for introductions. Thank you.
Welcome. Are they going to do the walk?
Well, they can do the walk.
It's a little different than college.
I'll bet.
Welcome. Board, sir.
Welcome. Welcome. Congrats on the new one.
Okay, next we're going to go to public commentary, and you have
I do have 2.
2? Okay, and I'd like to remind everybody that wants to make a comment that there's a 3-minute time limit.
5 minutes.
5-minute time limit, and Rose will she will flash you when you're getting towards the end, so we don't stop you in the middle of where you're going, so.
The first one I have is Dawn Nance, if you would like to come up.
And if you'd state your name for the
Okay.
crowd.
My name is Dawn Nance. I'm a resident of Rochelle. I've lived here for 18 years. I also work at the DeKalb County Health Department as an environmental health practitioner. So I would like to speak about the data center. As you can see on Facebook, there's a lot of people against it. I'm here with them that we are against it. One thing that I saw that the city commented that it was approximately a year now that it's been in talks with the data center. Why weren't we discuss this a year ago to the community? Why is it just being brought up now? I know you guys talked about the taxes and everything, but Illinois gives tax breaks to the data center. So what does that look for us if the state is going to give them tax breaks? I work in DeKalb County. I seen Meta, and it keeps on growing. There was one building, and then we got noticed that there was going to be a second building, and now there's a third building. So one of worries is how much are they going to take? You know, they have this small one now. What would it take in the future? Some comments from the community. One resident comment, even a few potential positives doesn't seem to outweigh the certain negatives. Again, while I appreciate the transparency and open discussion, it's going to be a hard no for me. I'd much rather see the city invest in infrastructure, public facilities, making it an attractive place for working families to live and small businesses to set up shop. I understand wanting to generate wealth for the city, but there's more productive and less harmful ways to do so. Corporate gratification and private equity are not what we need more of right now, especially the cost of local resources and environmental harm. Also, is it really being transparent when the city will have to do NDAs? I would prefer if we would be in business with a business that is open and willing to tell the community what their plans are before, you know, not having to do NDAs. I get NDAs because it's a data, it's AI and all that, but I think we would be more open if it was something that was more transparent to the community. Business does not equal tourism, or businesses equal tourism. Data center is not. It will only employ, what, up to 10 people? I think we would prefer something, a business that can employ more people and get people to live in this community, start building houses, generate more people to live in the area, which will then more people want to have business in our area. I understand we're not going to be like a DeKalb and not have Target come in, but we need something more than a data center. We need people to come to our community. We're off of big interstates. Why aren't we getting those people? And we're looking at the water too. Data centers, you can't recirculate the water. It just gets evaporated. So now we're at 100,000 gallons per, I think it was day, I'm sorry, I didn't write that down. So that seems like a lot. Can we handle that? I know we talked about electricity. You guys RMU is private, and we would bid for it, but what about the water? And another thing is, like, this also came from a community member. If you vote on this, remember that we vote on you. So obviously, if the community is against it, when it's time to vote, you know which way we're going to vote if you vote for this. Also, just a little idea thing, like, is there going to be kickbacks? Who's getting these kickbacks for pushing this data center? We may not know, but we may see that if someone who is pushing this in the city, pushing it so much, what kind of kickbacks are they going to receive from pushing the data center? And my last thing is, if 1 to 5 searches using AI on Google uses 1.5 liters of water, why do we want to be part of that? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Not to be overly critical, but I know we have one more speaker that would like to come up. Just in my humble opinion, we know you vote for us. We're still going to vote for what we think is best for the community. And as far as corruption, if you see it and it happens, then it happens. But the inference that somebody up here is going to be making $1 million off of this, I take as a personal aside. But anyway, I kept a list of your concerns, and we will talk to the city manager and try to get those addressed on the Facebook page that the city has. And I believe we have another gentleman.
Yes, the next one is Daniel Van Kirk.
Evening. I'm Daniel Van Kirk, born and raised Rochelle, Illinois. I primarily reside in Los Angeles, California now, but I own property here in town. And everyone from my soon-to-be-born niece to my 95-year-old grandmother is still here, so I have a lot of invested in this town. I love this town, and I come back a lot because I love this town. I've recently done a lot of work with a person similar to me. I'm in the entertainment field, do stand-up comedy. No promises that I'll be funny tonight at all. But I work with a guy from Wisconsin by the name of Charlie Behrens, and they're looking at this a lot up there. They have some data centers, they're looking at getting more. There's one in Port Washington, Wisconsin that I've assisted in just sort of gathering information and concerns. I'm not a person who has a lot of answers. I don't know how to fill a lot of gaps, but I think that it's very appropriate and kind of you guys to take time to hear from us. And you're in these positions because, like you said, do what's best for the community and hopefully what's best for everybody. Just to share with people some of the information that I've gathered from researching data centers. You know, a lot of places got them years ago and they found out, oh, we did that wrong, or we didn't know what to ask when we were negotiating with a company. You're looking obviously at like places like Amazon, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and AI being the biggest one of all. So a data center, it's got to have things to support it. That's really where the power, the water, and the security comes into the issue of it. It's not so much, you could find a good place to put it. It's just what comes with it. That water obviously can be an issue where it contaminates land. The sound from these, I'll just run through some of the things I have here. Forgive me if I don't do it in a good order. Per the Washington Post, data centers have been cited as a root cause of an expected 20% increase in utility prices in the Mid-Atlantic region alone. I know maybe that's a little bit different for us. Again, that could be above my pay grade. But if it uses more than it wanted to, somebody has to fill that gap, or you have to end up, some communities have had to look for other resources in terms to get the power for the town that they need. Everything in our technology, I think we can agree, is just going in one direction, and that's up. So what is projected to be needed for next year could be wildly different from what they need 2, 3, 5, 6 years down the road. Residents living near data centers have reported noise as high as 91 decibels, which is almost as loud as a chainsaw. Due to the constant loud noise from a data center in Granbury, Texas, nearby residents have reported suffering from hearing loss, migraines, vertigo, and nausea. Not only is this an issue for somebody who maybe lived near there, but you know, we're a community that enjoys our outdoors, fishing, hunting, things like that. You can see the migration or loss of animals when they leave. One, obviously your water source is being affected, but deer, pheasant, squirrel, things like that, places you like to go hunting, a lot of times they put these data centers where there's a lot of land and you lose that wildlife in that area. Between on-site cooling and off-site energy generation, just one data center can generate 5 million gallons of use of water per day. And I think just the thing I would ask, as it's something that Rochelle looks at, we should really pressure or make the owners of the data centers use renewable energy, have the data center give reports on water usage. You can have that capped as well. And enact laws that prevent communities from having their utility bills raised just because the data center is using too much of it. So there's things to go in and look at. A lot of times if they say, well, we'll act in good faith if it ends up being a bigger issue, you're already on the farm, so you can't avoid getting mud on you at that point. It's just how much are they going to use? If it's something that's right for this community, I trust that you'll make the good, right decision for everyone who lives here and all of us in our business as well. But I think that currently, at least now, a lot of choices are being made and then realizing, man, that really affected us negatively. Everything I've read, I haven't heard of one town that was happy they put in a data center. That doesn't mean it didn't benefit them in some way, but they weren't happy about it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, can I just say a couple things? Just that we are planning on having a public meeting sometime in November to talk about it. And that's a great point about capping water usage. The agreement that we've been talking about would cap it at 100,000 gallons a day. That sounds like a lot of water, but Rochelle pumps 4.5 to 5 million gallons a day. So if we get a data center, we're not even we're talking to a developer, but not a data center. It would use 1/10 of one of our largest customers. I'm not arguing against your point. I'm just simply saying we already have talked about the idea of capping, things like that. But based on the comments on Facebook, we thought it would be appropriate to have a meeting to try to answer some of those questions and then go from there. So, thank you, sir.
I would personally like, thank you, Dawn, thank you, Daniel, for coming, making the presentations. We do appreciate the input, and it gives us an idea of what the questions are in the community. And you have my promise that we will get on our internet site, and if it's one at a time, we will try to explain at least where we're at now. But realistically, this isn't you come in and then we'll figure out what to do. There's all the work's going in up front. They'll know exactly where the electricity's coming from, who's paying what, and the water and such that. So thank you very much for coming, appreciate that. Discussion items. Alternate revenue bonds, airport, and tech center projects. Tim?
Thank you. So the alternate revenue bonds that I'm going to talk about tonight is just, so we're looking into funding for a new airplane hangar at the airport, and as well as some electrical upgrades. So this is just kind of going over some of those reasons. So airport staff have been working on plans to build a new 8-unit airplane T hangar. Airport staff discussed this project with City Manager Fagenchew, explaining the need for additional hangar space at Rochelle's airport and the funding necessary to complete this project. City Manager Fagenchew reached out to Raymond James, a public finance and debt investment banking firm, to explore alternate revenue bond options and run scenarios to fund a new airplane hangar project along with an electrical upgrade project needed at Rochelle's Technology Center. The funds needed to complete both projects total $2.7 million. Currently, Rochelle's airport has general obligation bond that was used to construct a community hangar that is out there today. That hangar was built in 2009. This bond has a remaining balance of $237,456.28, with a final payment set for 1/1 of 29. Raymond James ran several bond scenarios, which included refunding the community hangar 2017B bonds. However, the coupon rates are lower than the current market rates and would cause a savings to the savings if they were to be refunded. For this reason, Raymond James suggests leaving the bonds outstanding and then structuring new bonds around this series to fund Rochelle's airport and technology center projects. They recommend an alternate net revenue bond that would be a 10-year term with an assumed coupon rate of 5%. The remaining 4 years of the community hangar series 2017B debt service is also shown on that. And I apologize, I meant to bring this up. How do I bring that up, Rose?
Let's see. There you go.
Thank you.
Can you enlarge it a little bit?
Yeah,
Could you bring it up at a size I can read?
I can sure try. All right. The anticipated cost for the new proposed electrical upgrades at the Technology Center is $700,000. The cost of constructing a new 8-unit T hangar, including engineering fees, is $1,902,697. All upfront costs for these projects must be paid by the city. However, once completed, the city would receive $1,204,737 in grant funding towards the overall cost of the 8-unit T hangar that would be built. So $720,000 of this grant funding is from the bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed by Congress in 2021. Funding was distributed over a 5-year program, and that funding that was distributed expires 3 years after that year. So last year was the first year, I should say this year was the first year that would have expired. So the very first year was actually used for the parking lot and the entryway. And then, so the next 4 years, we are proposing to use those funds for the construction of the new hangar. And so one of the reasons that this funding, that $720,000 is important is because it was part of that infrastructure bill. It's unique in the way that it can be used for funding revenue generating projects at the airport, which most of the funding that we get from the feds and the state cannot be used for things like that. So that's one of the reasons we're trying to use that remaining balance for this project. So alternate revenue bonds are a good funding option for municipalities because they provide immediate capital for large projects, preserve municipal general funds for essential services, supporting fiscal stability while continuing to invest in infrastructure. Spreading repayment out over a decade for large capital projects will reduce the stress on the airport and technology center operating budgets and prevent increased project costs from just postponing these down the road. And right now at the airport, every one of the hangars that we have is full, and we actually have, I believe it's a waiting list of 8 to 12 planes right now. So we really are in need of the space, but also rent and lease fees are actually the biggest generator for revenue income at the airport, for revenue at the airport. So, and with that, Stephen Roberts is here if you have any questions about the bonds. So anyways, that's just kind of a precursor to what we're looking at doing.
So essentially, what we'd be asking for consideration is at the next meeting would be like we've done in the past, where you would pass a resolution authorizing staff to explore the possibility of issuing alternate revenue bonds with a cap. I think the ordinance has a cap of 5 million. We won't go that high, but we like to have some, can you pull that back up, please?
Yeah.
We'd like to have some flexibility. I just want to see those numbers again. So just, the reason that, you know, when Tim and I talked that we want to have this option to consider is we've got 1.2 million in federal dollars that we don't want to lose, and that would pay for well over half of the actual hangar project. And so these bonds don't call early because interest rates are higher when you call them early. So essentially, when the project's done, we would receive the grant funds and we would just hold on to them and use the grant dollars to repay the debt service on the loan, right? When the grant dollars are done, the other hangar will be paid off, and we will just slide that money that's in the budget that we use to utilize that, to pay that debt service, to pay the additional debt service. And then the tech park would pay their portion of the $700,000. We would just transfer money out of the technology center fund to the debt service fund and make the payment for the technology center. And the reason we talked about this project in the past, this project is extremely critical because if we ever have a major outage at the tech park, we really truly don't have backup power, so people with internet service could be out for a significant amount of time. This project's a high priority and we need to get it done. So, and instead of borrowing from the landfill fund and then the tech center paying it back, it just makes sense to have an actual debt service schedule through alternate revenue bonds to pay that back.
Any other questions from the council? Thank you very much, Tim.
Are you guys okay with us putting something on the next council agenda? Because I have some documents I have to sign for, to do a bond call, so, or not a bond call, but a bond rating. So I want to make sure you guys are okay with it, so I don't waste our staff's time.
So first we'd go through and explore the bond options.
Yes.
If we found favorable conditions, it would
Yes.
come back again for an actual
Issuance.
vote and issuance. Okay.
I want to go out and see where rates are at.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. You're good?
Now, the other two discussion items have been removed because we haven't been able to get all the information to make the presentations tonight, so we'll move to business items. It's your chance if you want to go. Thank you. Rose, if you would do the omnibus.
All right. A, approve city council meeting minutes, October 14, 2025. B, approve payroll, September 29th through October 12th, 2025. C, approve payment registers, October 14th and October 20th of 2025. D, accept and place on file September financials. E, approve special event requests, Light Up Lincoln Parade. Are there any items you wish to remove?
Entertain a motion.
I move consent agenda items A through E to be approved by omnibus vote as recommended.
Second.
Second.
First by Councilmember Arteaga, second by Councilmember Valdivieso. Roll call, please.
Counselor Jan McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Shaldicky?
Yes.
Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote 5-0.
Okay. Could we have a motion on item number 2?
I move ordinance 2025-64, an ordinance accepting the proposal for Tri-City Electric Co. for the construction of Center Point Substation be approved.
Second.
Second.
First by Councilmember Valdivieso, second by Councilmember Kate Shaw Dickey. You have a presentation to make?
I do. The city received competitive bids for the construction of Center Point Substation project on October 8, 2025 at 2:00 p.m. 3 bids were received on time. A summary of the 3 bids are Tri-City Electric, $6,975,780. JF Electric, $8,061,730. L.E. Myers, $8,500,317. The bids were tabulated, reviewed for any clarifications, exemptions, or price escalators. Tri-City came in at the lowest bid, just under engineer's estimate of right over $7 million. Tri-City did the upgrades at the diesel plant several years back, so we know that they're capable of doing this work. So the recommendation is to award the contract to Tri-City with a 10% contingency to cover any unforeseen site conditions. So total proposed expenditure, $7,673,358 with a budgeted amount of $9,800,000. This is all for the Center Point substation that we've been talking about for multiple years. So this is actual construction of the substation, the roadway to it, the gates, the fence, the duct banks, everything that goes into that substation. We've already purchased transformer and switchgear. Once this is approved, our first order of business is to get the foundation built for the switchgear, so that way we don't have to pay storage charges on it. So as long as this gets approved tonight, we're going to try and move quickly on that because our switchgear is slated to deliver at the end of November. We're trying to get them to push delivery date back as far as we can. If not, we incur storage charges that we're trying to avoid. So any questions?
Any input, questions?
I've been up here multiple times talking about the Center Point substation, so I think you guys are
Yes, you've done a
aware.
great job, Blake, and thank you. We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Dan McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Shaldicky?
Yes.
Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake. Entertain a motion on item number 3.
I move Resolution R 2025-45, a resolution authorizing the co-location and VLAN or VLAN transport services license agreement with Digital Network and Access Communications Incorporated be approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Pat, would you?
All right, good
Run us
evening,
through
everybody. A little over a year ago, we lost our biggest leaser out at the tech center, so we've been slowly cleaning out areas and trying to find new ways of generating revenue. Working with DNA, which is a local company, we were able to come up with a co-location agreement and then some leasing of VLAN space or capabilities on top of our fiber that would allow them to provide services to customers on the RMU-owned fiber that we really can't provide. They have just different services than what we're comfortable providing with private entities. So one of the things we're looking at was trying to replace that revenue, be able to provide better services to customers, and this is one of the few win-wins that you get, especially for a local company. So we thought this was a good one to bring forward. You guys have any questions?
Seeing none, on a first by Councilmember Dan McDermott and a second by Kate Shaw Dickey. Could we have a roll call, please?
Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
Counselor Dan McDermott?
Yes.
Counselor Shadicki?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote 5-0.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, entertain a motion on item number 4.
I move ordinance 2025-65, an ordinance accepting the proposal from Martin and Company Excavating for the 2025 North 14th Street Storm Sewer Improvements Phase 1 be approved.
Second.
Thank you very much. Sam, if you would, please.
The North 14th Street Storm Sewer Project was identified in the 2025 CIP and is considered Phase 1 of the improvements. The project will include large diameter storm sewer drainage upgrades to enhance or replace old, deteriorated, and undersized existing storm sewers that currently that currently exist in a large developed and urbanized upland watershed north and east of the 14th Street right-of-way. The project will traverse the...
Go ahead.
Thank you. The project will traverse through the St. Paul property north of the church parking lot, which is right near where the playground area is, on an easement that was granted to the city as part of the replat of the St. Paul property a couple of months ago, I believe, or 2 or 3 months ago. It will continue over to the 14th Street undeveloped right-of-way to the east of St. Paul and then north to Highland Avenue. And that's going to be considered our Phase 1 for this year. And that will actually go into spring of next year when we're going to do road restoration, that sort of thing, when it's more appropriate to do so. The above-mentioned project was advertised in the Rochelle News Leader and on the city website. Bids were open and read aloud on October 21st at 11. We received 11 separate bids for this project, which was very surprising to me. So I only threw in the lowest 5 on the memo here. And I'm just going to read the lowest of those, and that was Martin and Company Excavating submitted a bid for making the entire improvements in the amount of $374.69, or $374,069.16. That bid is approximately 21% lower than the engineer's estimate of cost. And the project is going to be funded with sales tax funds for infrastructure. Furthermore, given the favorable contract unit prices, it's recommended that approval be given to the city manager and or the city engineer to negotiate additional work or contract change orders not to exceed $73,000 within the proposed bid contract prices to facilitate other improvements and upgrades to streets and or storm sewer systems adjacent to the project. So the recommendation is to consider a resolution accepting the bid proposal and award the contract to Martin and Company Excavating and reject all other bids received. And secondly, to consider a resolution for the approval and authorization of a not to exceed $73,000 improvement add-on or contract order to be negotiated by the city manager and or engineer for improvements to the project. Any questions?
Do we have to amend the proposal here to include that second part, or is that because we're staying into the original bid price or the original?
Right, but I think it includes the contingency fee.
It does.
Okay, so we're good with the way it says.
The ordinance has the acceptable bid and it's a contingency fund, there's the 2 different links.
Okay. Any questions?
Sam, what's the impact for the playground there for St. Paul?
It will be disturbed. So our approach was to do it later on in the year when the kids are not out there. Obviously, we're going to have to communicate with St. Paul staff and that sort of thing as we're going through there. We will put up a safety fence in that immediate area because we understand that there's school-aged children in that area. So it's going to be out of service for a while, but I'm hoping that that out-of-service time will be when it's colder weather. So they may be in the gym at that point in time. But we'll communicate that with the school.
St. Paul, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sam.
You are welcome.
On a first by Councilmember Ben Valdivieso and a second by Councilmember Kate Shaw Dickey. Roll call, please.
Counselor Shaw Dickey?
Yes.
Counselor Arteaga?
Yes.
Counselor Valdivieso?
Yes.
Counselor Hayes?
Yes.
And Counselor Dan McDermott?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote 5-0.
That concludes our business items for the evening. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
Okay, on a first by Kate Shaw Dickey, council member, and a second by Councilmember Ben Valdivieso. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
Thank you.